Test. Here.
Keep talking.
Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Test.
Okay. Good.
Each time I've done this, I've taken a huge break in between. With the first 2 issues, we did ours, and then at the very end of the summer, we did one with Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never really... I want to do it consistently enough that I just want to get, like, some crappy reps in.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's the only way that you really get okay at something.
Definitely, man.
Because I never am consistent enough. I get done with the final thing, and then you ride that wave for maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of over it.
No, I do the same thing with Seller, man. I, like, spend time, like, get a nice project out, and then I'm just, like, stagnant. Like, it's like, oh, I feel good about it, and then it's like, I don't want to release something too soon to overshadow it, but then I make that gap too long, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I always feel like the juice is flowing, but I don't know. I need to act on it more. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like I'm real nitpicky about, like, it being the right moment or the right feeling for me. I don't know. I need to just do it, because I think when you actually do it, that's what creates the mood I'm looking for. Like, I'm always, like, weird about it having to be the perfect scenario.
When I watch things and I listen to podcasts and stuff, I really like to hear, like, a little bit more, like, vulnerability. Because, like, I can speak for myself. Like, for the past 2 years, creativity has been a huge challenge for me.
Really?
And
I kind of find that surprising.
Yeah. I mean,
I feel like you're good at pumping stuff out, and I think you have creativity flowing all the time, dude. That's how I see it, but obviously it's, how am I to know how you're, like, how you feel about it, or how it's, like, I don't know.
I guess it just never measures up to your initial intentions.
Yeah.
I thought, once I get these GCTV issues going, I'll be able to just pump them out one after the next.
Yeah.
And the momentum would start to grow, but there's, with COVID and me, I moved to Pittsburgh, and I don't know as many people, so it's sort of just a stop and go.
These are spoons that I made in high school. It was like the first time I ever messed with clay. And it wasn't even like during class time. I had to come in after school. Yeah, this was just me figuring out the medium and not even really... I had no determined style. I was just doing it. These are relatively newer pieces. I like this one a lot because the red looks nice. But I remember when I fired it, the glaze on the inside got really rough and it feels gross. But I keep it because this was I can't even see it. My old stamp was made with like letterpress letters. And they were all, each letter was in a different font. I think I started doing this style like in my last 2 semesters of college, when I had like a good grasp of like utility and a grasp of what I wanted out of a pot and stuff. Well, I think a lot of my style came from anxiety because I wanted these really tight, sharp, forms that were very like geometric, and that's something that stems from anxiety is you want something straight and clean cut, and like geometric things are reliable, and they are. I don't know, they're like, a circle's always going to be a circle, so there is some like solace in that when I make stuff. Well, I was very influenced by Keith Haring and like the way he drew with like big fat lines and stuff. And that was a lot of like, I had these random line workings that I would do that they weren't really picturesque the way his were, but that's kind of like where stuff like this came from too. I think my work is different now because I am less anxious. I still keep a lot of geometry and geometric like influences in my work, but I'm just less rigid about it. I allow myself to be more fluid with certain aspects, but I still have a better grasp of color, I have a better grasp of form and of what works and what doesn't work in a pot. So I think the biggest change is just that I've grown and I've learned more. I did these at Touchstone Center for Crafts, and this was like, that was a very monumental time because I was experimenting a lot, and it's sort of how I started making the work I am now. I would say my stuff now it's more functional kind of, but like it's less just a concept or an idea, it's like a fully finished product. As before, these were all just ideas that I was experimenting with, and I've made a lot of these forms again, and I think I make them better too, but now it's fun to look back on. A lot of these are very different just because it's not like one cohesive glaze pattern is like the big thing. They're all not. I was just using like whatever glaze I had. A lot of it too was me like following assignments, so it was like I had to make so many pouring vessels or so many drinking vessels. So it was a lot of just me taking those guidelines and then making something out of it that I liked. Even like I would be asked to make like drinking vessels, I would make a drinking vessel, but it wouldn't be like, you wouldn't want to use it, or it would just be super funky. I was all about style and taste and not really like whether or not people would actually want to use it. Yeah, when I would get an assignment, it wasn't really, my priority wasn't to make the perfect drinking vessel or the perfect like teapot or whatever. It was always like, how can I make a teapot or make a cup and then just have it be like the most whack ass cup, or like the most creative response to that prompt that I could get. Like, these are my favorites. I can't make these anymore though because they like always break. But these were fun little cups, and they almost always like would warp or fail. Sometimes I am overwhelmed by the kindness of people who are just willing to stop to let some geese cross the road. They're fucking big. These look like the geese that my grandma would dress up and put on her porch.
I know we always do this, but could we restart?
Yeah, dude. It's no pressure.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm good.
You don't want to?
No.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah, I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
I guess, how do I turn that? So how like think back to before we did this the first time?
Mm-hmm.
What was different?
In terms of my creativity?
What has changed, yeah, and your productivity
Yeah.
with putting things out and that
Productivity
sort of
probably got worse. But I think, I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but like my creativity is more refined. I'm like very nitpicky, a lot more nitpicky than I used to be about what I draw inspiration from. Like I'm really like thoughtful about, like, I want to be inspired by the right things, and it's cool to like get excited about everything, or I feel like before our first interview, I like everything would inspire me. Like I see anything and I'm like, oh, I can make something out of that, or I'm gonna use that for a design, or I'm gonna use this, and like it was just like so much pouring in. And now it's like it takes a lot more for me to be like watching a certain movie, or traveling for work, or at a place. It takes a lot more for me to like see that right thing for me to draw inspiration from. Like I think I'm more, I don't want to say strict, but I want it to be really impactful. Like I don't want, like I used to see any little thing and I'm like, oh, I could do a design out of this. Let's just do that. I like really want to nail down something that I think is solid. Like I want it to be like very clever. Like I don't know, like it's just little simple things. I like, I think I just, which isn't a bad thing. It's nice to like pump out that quantity, which maybe that's what I need. Maybe I need to get less picky, but now I'm definitely more like thoughtful and careful about like what it is I'm drawing inspiration from, and what the final product or design is going to be. It feels good to be back doing this, man. I love doing this shit.
I know, and I wanted to thank you for kind of, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but for always being down to do this.
Yeah.
Dude,
I would love to do more with you, man.
Well, to do any creative thing, I know it sounds like it's not so much, but I've really, I've gone through some times where it's just too uncomfortable to ask. I've had, negative responses in the past.
Well, I never want you to feel that way with me.
And I really, really respect and love that I have like a creative partner that is always willing and like motivated to do stuff like this.
Yeah, definitely, man. I feel the same way.
Yeah, because it's not easy to jump back in and start talking on camera again,
yeah,
especially after this long.
Yeah, I haven't done anything like this since doing something with you.
Yeah.
But I love it, man. Like, I don't know. I do like this a lot. I love doing this. Tall boys.